My dad kicked me out for calling out my sister's behavior. Years later, she trashed him, calling another man her real dad. At rehearsal dinner, now my dad is begging me to forgive him. All right, Reddit, so I got kicked out at 18 for not being the golden child. Slept in my truck, built myself up from nothing, became a senior wind turbine tech. 11 years later, my sister publicly called my mom's new boyfriend her real dad at her rehearsal dinner. Then her life imploded. Now my dad's begging for money, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the chaos. 11 years since I got kicked out by my father. 11 years since I'd spoken to any of them, except for the occasional obligatory text at Christmas that I never responded to. I, 29 male, have been doing my job since I was 18. Right after I got kicked out, I signed up for a wind turbine technician certification program at Oklahoma State Tech in Okmulgee. 6 weeks of training. Learned electrical systems, hydraulics, mechanical troubleshooting, and how to not panic while climbing a 300-foot ladder. Started as an apprentice making 38 grand. Now I was the senior tech on this wind farm. Serviced about 40 turbines on rotation. Drove out from Oklahoma City, usually about 2 hours west on E40, to the wind farms near Weatherford and Woodward Flat Plains. Endless sky, turbines spinning like giant 3-blade fans printing money. The pay was solid now, 82 grand base plus overtime. Some weeks I'd clear 2 grand just in overtime checks. Decent benefits. Company truck for site visits. Not bad for a guy who started out sleeping in a Planet Fitness parking lot with $8 in his checking account. I'd learned to love this work. The height, the isolation, the technical challenges. Up there on a turbine, 300 feet in the air, with nothing but wind and machinery, I didn't have to think about the past. About my dad. Tom standing in the doorway of my childhood bedroom, telling me I had 1 hour to pack. About Ashley smirking from the hallway. About Mom standing silent in the kitchen, not saying a word. They'd made it clear who mattered in that house long before the day I got kicked out. Ashley got the car when she turned 16. A nice used Honda Civic that Tom spent weeks shopping for, negotiating the price, making sure it was perfect for his princess. When I turned 16, I got a "we'll see" that turned into "figure it out yourself." So I did. Bought a beat-up truck for $800 from a guy on Craigslist. It leaked oil and the AC didn't work, but it was mine. Ashley got her college fully paid for University of Oklahoma. Sorority dues, apartment, the works. Tom bragged about it at family gatherings, how he'd saved and invested to give his daughter the best start in life. When I asked about college money for me, he said, community college was perfectly respectable, and I should be grateful for the roof over my head. So I worked, bagged groceries at Homeland, saved everything I could, applied for scholarships, made plans. Ashley got her own room with an attached bathroom. I shared a room with storage boxes and old furniture until I was 15, then got moved to the converted garage. No heat in winter, no AC in summer. Tom said it built character. The golden child treatment wasn't even subtle. Ashley's achievements got framed and hung on the wall. Honor roll certificates, cheerleading photos, academic awards. My stuff went in a drawer somewhere. When I made the varsity wrestling team junior year, Tom missed every single match. Said he was busy, but he never missed one of Ashley's volleyball games. Mom saw all of it. Never said anything. Just kept her head down, cooked dinner, played the dutiful wife. When I'd try to talk to her about it, she'd say, "Your father has his reasons," or "Just try to get along." I stopped trying senior year. I was accepted to Oklahoma State University with a partial scholarship. I'd need loans for the rest. Maybe $15,000 a year. I showed Tom the acceptance letter. Thought maybe this would be the moment he'd be proud. He looked at it for about 5 seconds. "That's a lot of debt for an engineering degree you'll probably drop out of anyway. Community college first, prove you're serious." Ashley was sitting right there, halfway through her sophomore year at OU, living in a nice apartment Tom paid for. She didn't even look up from her phone. That's when I knew. It didn't matter what I did. I'd never be enough. The final blow came 3 months before high school graduation. I'd been working doubles at Homeland, saving everything for school. Had about 4 grand put away. Came home one Saturday to find Tom in my room. Well, the garage, holding my laptop. "You're not going to need this where you're going," he said. "What?" "I've decided you need to learn some responsibility. Real-world experience. You're 18 in 2 weeks. After graduation, you're moving out time to be a man." I just stared at him. "You're kicking me out? I'm giving you independence. You think you're ready for college? Prove it. Get a job, get an apartment, show me you can handle adult responsibilities. Then maybe we'll talk about helping with school." Ashley walked past the garage door right then, saw what was happening and smirked. Actually smirked. Like watching me get destroyed was entertainment. I looked past Tom to where Mom was standing in the kitchen doorway. She was staring at the floor. Mom? She didn't look up. Didn't say anything. Just walked away. 2 weeks later, on my 18th birthday, Tom handed me a trash bag. You've got an hour. I packed what I could. Clothes, my wrestling medals that nobody ever hung up, some photos, the laptop Tom decided I could keep after all. Generous of him. Threw it all in my truck. Ashley was at a friend's house. Probably planned that way. Mom was in her bedroom with the door closed. I knocked. Mom, I'm leaving. Silence. Mom, please. Nothing. I left. Drove to a Planet Fitness parking lot and sat there until it got dark. Then I slept in my truck. Did that for 2 weeks until I found a terrible studio apartment in South Oklahoma City for $400 a month. Picked up more hours at Homeland 8A Ramen. Showered at the gym. And I applied for that wind turbine program. 6 weeks of training that would actually lead to a job. Real money. A real future. Forget college. Forget Tom. Forget all of them. Those first few months were terrible. Bounced between the studio apartment and sleeping in my truck when I couldn't make rent. Worked 60-hour weeks. Lost 20 pounds. Some nights I'd sit in that truck and do the math. $8 an hour at Homeland versus the 38 grand I'd make after certification. The numbers kept me going when nothing else would. Every shift bagging groceries was one step closer to never needing Tom's approval again. Every ramen dinner was temporary. I made it temporary, but I finished the certification program, got hired as an apprentice tech, started climbing by year 2. I had savings. By year 3, I had a decent apartment. By year 4, I met Hazel, a nurse at OU Medical Center who didn't care about my family drama and actually saw me for who I was. By year 6, I'd built a life Tom said I'd never have. Never called. Never texted. Never went back for holidays or birthdays. When Aunt Rachel would try to pass along messages, "Your father wants you to call him," or "Ashley misses you," I'd just say, "That's nice," and change the subject. They'd made their choice. I made mine. I didn't hate them anymore. Hatred takes energy. I just didn't care. They were strangers who happened to share my DNA. That's it. Or at least that's what I told myself. My phone rang while I was driving back from a job site near Weatherford, unknown number. Normally, I'd let it go to voicemail, but something made me answer. "Liam, it's your mother." I almost hung up. My hand literally moved toward the end call button, but I didn't press it. "What do you want? I know we haven't spoken in 11 years. I know I don't deserve to call you, but I need to tell you something." I waited, didn't say anything, just drove and listened to the sound of her breathing on the other end. "I'm divorcing your father." That got my attention. I pulled over to the shoulder, hazards on. "You're what?" "I filed last week. I'm done, Liam. I've been unhappy for years. Longer than that, really. Since before you left. Maybe since before you were born. Tom is controlling and dismissive and cruel, and I can't do it anymore." I sat there watching an 18-wheeler blow past my truck. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I wanted you to hear it from me. And because," she paused, "because Ashley's getting married in 2 months. There's a rehearsal dinner next Friday. I wanted to invite you." "Why would I come to that?" "Because despite everything, you're still my son. And maybe," I know this is asking a lot. There was something in her voice. Not quite bitterness. Not quite satisfaction. Something darker. "Tom's going to be there," she continued. "So is Henry. That's the man I've been seeing. Ashley invited him. She's been spending time with us. Getting to know him. Your father is..." Another pause. "Your father is not handling any of this well." I should have said no. Should have hung up and gone back to my life where they didn't exist. "I'll think about it. That's more than I deserve. Thank you, Liam." She gave me the details. The restaurant, the time, the date. I wrote them down on a receipt I found in my glove box. I sat there for 20 minutes watching the sun drop toward the horizon. Turbines spinning in the distance like giant metronomes counting down to something. Hazel was cooking dinner when I got home. Stir fry. The apartment smelled like garlic and ginger. "My mom called," I said. She dropped the spatula. "What?" "She's divorcing Tom. Filed last week. And she invited me to Ashley's rehearsal dinner next Friday." "Are you serious? What did you say?" "I said I'd think about it." She studied my face for a long moment. "Okay, but I'm coming with you. You're not walking into that alone. You don't have to..." "I'm coming." Sage was one of those upscale places with white tablecloths and expensive food. 60 people milling around in fancy attire. Wedding party, family, close friends. Hazel and I walked in fashionably late. I scanned the room immediately. Tom was at a back table with his brother Mike and some cousins. He looked rough, Lost weight, eyes sunken, defeated. Older than 62 had any right to look. Mom was near the front with a man who had to be Henry. She looked incredible. New haircut, expensive dress, glowing in a way I'd never seen before. Henry was mid-50s, salt and pepper hair, tailored suit, confident, successful. The contrast between them and Tom was brutal. Henry had this easy confidence, the kind that comes from actually having your life together. Tom looked like he'd aged 10 years in the 11 since I'd last seen him. The divorce was clearly eating him alive. Ashley was holding court near the refreshment area with her bridesmaids. Designer dress, perfect makeup, laughing. Her fiancé Chris stood next to her looking uncomfortable. Tom saw me first. His face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, hope, fear, resignation. I gave him a single nod. Nothing more. Mom saw me next. Her eyes got wet. She started to stand, then thought better of it. Just nodded back. I could see her hands shaking from across the room. Ashley hadn't noticed yet, too busy being the center of attention. Hazel and I found seats near the middle, close enough to see everything, far enough to stay out of the immediate blast radius. The dinner started. Chris's parents gave speeches about welcoming Ashley to their family standard rehearsal dinner stuff. Then Ashley stood up with a microphone. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Her voice was bright, cheerful. That same tone she'd used when she was 17 and got everything she wanted. This week has been crazy with all the wedding planning, but I'm so grateful for the people who've supported me and Chris. She gestured to her bridesmaids. They whooped on cue. I especially want to thank someone who's gone above and beyond these last few weeks. Ashley looked directly at Henry. Henry has been an absolute godsend. He helped us get better rates at the venue through his connections. He offered to contribute to the catering costs. He's been more supportive and present than some people who are supposed to be family. The room went quiet. People looked around, confused. This wasn't in the program. Ashley kept going, and her voice got harder. Henry, you've shown my mom what it means to be valued and appreciated. You've treated her like she deserves to be treated. And you've shown me and Chris what generosity looks like. She paused, looked directly at Tom. Honestly, you've been more of a real father to me these last few weeks than my actual father has been in years. Someone gasped. Tom just sat there frozen. His face had gone white. Henry stood up, clearly uncomfortable. Ashley, that's very kind, but I don't think... No, I mean it. Ashley's voice got firmer, sharper. My dad never supported my dreams. He didn't help with this wedding. Said he couldn't afford it even though I know he helped himself to a nice flat-screen TV last month. He's been bitter and miserable through this whole process. But you stepped up. You treated me like family. And that's why I've asked Henry to walk me down the aisle on Saturday. The room went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop on that expensive carpet. Chris stood up. Ashley, maybe we should... I'm just being honest. Some people give everything to their kids. Some people give nothing and expect gratitude anyway. Henry's only known me for 2 months and he's already been more of a dad than Tom ever was. Tom's face was white. His hands were shaking. I could see him from across the room. And for a second, just a second, I almost felt bad for him. Mom looked shocked. She clearly hadn't known about the aisle-walking decision. Her face had gone from glowing to horrified. Henry looked mortified. Ashley, I really think this isn't the right time or place. It's the perfect time. Everyone should know who's really been there for me. She sat down. The smile on her face looked satisfied. The dinner continued in agonizing silence. People whispered to each other. Chris's parents looked absolutely horrified. His mother's face had gone pale. Half the wedding party found excuses to leave early. I watched Tom. He sat there staring at his plate. Didn't eat, didn't touch his water, just sat there like someone had gutted him. Hazel leaned over and whispered, "This is insane." Yeah, I almost feel bad for him. Don't. He made his choices. But I was lying. Some part of me, the part that remembered being 8 years old and having Tom teach me to ride a bike before Ashley was born, felt something. Not pity, not forgiveness, just something. I found Chris outside taking a break 20 minutes later. He wasn't normally one to step out. This was pure stress. He jumped. "Man, you scared me. You're Ashley's brother, right? The one who doesn't come around?" "That's me." "Smart man." He took a breath. "Your sister just humiliated your dad in front of everyone. I knew she was mad at him about the wedding budget, but that was cruel. I don't know if I can marry someone who'd do that. You thinking about calling it off?" "Yeah, I am. My parents are furious. My mom was in tears in the car. She said Ashley showed her true colors tonight, and she's not wrong." He shook his head. "Is she always like this?" "She's always been entitled. But this is new." Chris nodded slowly. I need to think about this. Really think. Good luck with that. I went back inside, found Ashley arguing with Mom near the coat check. I got close enough to hear. You said it would be fine to acknowledge Henry, Ashley hissed. I said you could thank him for his help, not call him your real father. So now you care about Dad's feelings? You left him. I left him because he treated me badly for 30 years. That doesn't mean you get to torture him publicly. What you did was cruel, Ashley. Whatever. Henry's fine with it. He already said yes when I asked him yesterday. That's not the point. But Ashley walked away. Just turned and walked away, leaving Mom standing there. Hazel and I left. The rehearsal dinner ended around 8:30. Ashley had nuked her own event. In the car, Hazel looked at me. You okay? Yeah, I think so. That was the most toxic thing I've ever seen. Welcome to my family. Chris's parents left right after we did. His mom was still crying in the parking lot. His dad looked like he wanted to punch something. They'd spent months planning this wedding with Ashley and Chris. Helped with the guest list, his mom had even offered to sew custom table runners for the reception. They'd welcomed Ashley into their family, treated her like a daughter, and she repaid them by turning their son's rehearsal dinner into a public execution of her own father. They saw exactly what kind of person she was, what kind of wife she'd be, what kind of mother she'd become. The next morning, Chris called off the wedding. Ashley called me 17 times that day. I finally answered on the 18th call. What? Chris called off the wedding. She was ugly crying. He said he can't marry someone who'd humiliate their own father like that. He said I'm cruel and entitled, and he doesn't want to build a life with me. Okay. Okay? That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? You called another man your real father at your rehearsal dinner. Chris saw who you really are. Can't blame him for running. This is your fault, I almost laughed. My fault? Chris said he talked to you outside. You told him to break up with me. I didn't tell him anything. He made his own decision based on watching you act like a spoiled brat in front of 60 people. You're lying. You told him I was terrible. You sabotaged my wedding because you're jealous. Jealous of what? Your canceled wedding? Your ex-fiancé? Your ruined life? Yeah, I'm real jealous. I hate you. You're a terrible brother and you always have been. And you're a terrible person. At least I own what I am. She hung up. The wedding was officially canceled. Ashley lost about 40 grand in non-refundable deposits. The venue kept their money. So did the caterer, the florist, the photographer. Chris moved out of their apartment. Ashley couldn't afford it alone on her receptionist salary. Yeah, turns out the golden child made 35 grand a year at a dental office and had been living off Chris's income and Dad's handouts. Meanwhile, Mom and Henry were posting vacation photos on Facebook. Looked happy. Ashley called me 2 more times over the next week. Both times to scream at me about ruining her life. Both times I hung up after 30 seconds. She sent a long text message accusing me of being vindictive and cruel. Said I'd always been jealous of her. Said I turned Chris against her because I wanted to see her suffer. I blocked her number. Uncle Mike called me 2 weeks after the canceled wedding. Said I needed to hear what happened. Your father and Ashley had it out. He said, bad. Real bad. Apparently, Ashley had shown up at Tom's apartment expecting him to take care of her. She'd lost the apartment she shared with Chris. Lost her job at the dental office. Turns out she'd been calling in sick too much after the breakup, and they let her go. She figured Tom would step up, let her move in, cover her expenses, like he always had. Tom said no. According to Mike, Ashley lost it. Started screaming at him about how he'd ruined her wedding by being cheap, how he'd embarrassed her in front of everyone, how he was a terrible father who never did anything for her. And Tom snapped. He told her she was the most ungrateful, entitled person he'd ever met, Mike said. Told her he'd given her everything. Paid for her college, her car, her apartment, everything. And she threw it in his face at that dinner. Called another man her real father after Tom spent 27 years raising her. Good for him. It gets worse. Ashley told him he was nothing. Said Henry was more of a father in 2 months than Tom had been in her whole life. Said she was glad Mom left him because he deserved to be alone. I didn't say anything. Tom told her to get out. Said if she thought Henry was such a great father, she could go ask Henry for help. Told her she was dead to him. Said he had one kid, you, and he'd lost you because he was too busy spoiling her. Then he threw her out of his apartment. He actually threw her out? Physically escorted her to the door and locked it behind her. She was pounding on it, screaming, crying. Neighbors called the cops. When they showed up, Tom told them his daughter was trespassing and he wanted her gone. They made her leave. I sat with that for a minute. She tried calling him for 3 days straight, Mike continued. He blocked her number. She showed up at his apartment twice more. He threatened to file for a restraining order. Then he called me and told me to spread the word. Ashley is not his daughter anymore. He doesn't want to see her, hear from her, or hear about her. She's cut off completely. What's Ashley doing now? Couch surfing. She tried asking Henry and your mom for help. Henry said no, told her what she did at that dinner was manipulative and cruel, and he wants nothing to do with her. Your mom offered to help her find a job in a cheap apartment, but wouldn't let her move in. Said Ashley needs to learn to stand on her own. So she's actually on her own. Yeah, and she's telling everyone it's your fault. Says you poisoned Chris against her, then poisoned Tom against her. Says you're jealous and vindictive. Let her say whatever she wants. Not my problem. Mike was quiet for a second. Your dad's a mess, Liam. I know you don't care, but he's barely holding it together. Lost his wife, lost his daughter. He didn't lose anything. He threw it all away. And Ashley did the same thing. Yeah, I guess you're right. About a month after the rehearsal dinner disaster, I came home from work to find Tom sitting on my porch steps, just sitting there, waiting. Hazel pulled into the driveway behind me. She saw him too, mouthed something through her windshield. I got out of my truck. Tom stood up. He looked worse than he had at the rehearsal dinner. Thinner, grayer, beaten down. What are you doing here? I need to talk to you. Then talk. He glanced at Hazel, who was walking up slowly. Can we do this inside? No, you've got 5 minutes. Say what you need to say. Tom took a breath. His hands were shaking. I'm being evicted. End of next week. I can't make rent. I'm behind on bills. The divorce cleaned me out. Legal fees, the settlement, everything. I've got nothing left. I didn't say anything. Just waited. I need help, Liam. I need money to cover rent. Just this month. Maybe $1,800. I'll pay you back as soon as... No. Liam, please, I know I don't deserve to ask, but I have nowhere else to turn. Mike won't help me. Your mother certainly won't. Ashley. His face twisted. Ashley's out of my life. You're the only one who... The only one who what? The only one who has money? The only one dumb enough to bail you out? Which is it? You're my son? I stopped being your son when you gave me an hour to pack my life into a trash bag. Tom flinched. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. But I'm begging you. I need help. You're begging. I let that word hang there. You're standing on my porch begging me for money. Yes. Remember when I was 18 and sleeping in my truck? Did I come to your house begging? Oh wait, I couldn't. You kicked me out. I know. Remember when I was eating ramen for dinner because I couldn't afford real food? Did you check on me? Did you offer to help? No. You said I needed to learn responsibility. Liam, please. You told me to be a man, to figure it out myself, so figure it out yourself. Hazel was standing by her car watching this whole thing. Her face was a mix of shock and discomfort. Tom's voice cracked. I'm going to be living in my car? I've got nowhere to go. Planet Fitness parking lot is nice this time of year. I spent 2 weeks there. You'll be fine. I'm 62 years old. And I was 18. Who had it harder? Tom's face crumpled. He actually started crying. Right there on my porch. This man who'd stood in my garage and told me I had an hour to pack was crying on my doorstep. I'm begging you, please. I'll do anything. I'll sign anything. Just help me. I'll sign anything. Those words stuck in my head. Hazel was still watching. Tom was still crying. I looked at Tom, really looked at him desperate, broken, begging on my porch. The same man who'd kicked me out without a second thought. And I felt nothing. Not pity, not satisfaction, just exhaustion. I'll think about it, I said. Tom's face lit up with hope. Thank you. Thank you, Liam. I promise I said I'll think about it. Now get off my porch. He left, got in his aging Lexus and drove away. Hazel walked over to me. What are you thinking? That I'm tired. Hazel. Tired of all of this. Tired of them being in my head. Maybe if I help him this once, I can finally be done with all of them. You sure? No. But I can't keep carrying this around. I'll give him the loan. Fair terms. If he pays it back, fine. If he doesn't, I'm just done. No drama, no revenge, just done. I called my lawyer the next day. Small firm in Oklahoma City that I'd used for some contract work before. Asked him about drafting a simple personal loan agreement. He asked what terms I wanted. I told him. That's more than fair, he said. You being generous? I'm being done. 3 days later, I had the contract called Tom back. I'll loan you $2,000. This covers your rent with some left over. We're doing this with a contract because I want everything documented and final. Whatever you need. Thank you, Liam. Really. I won't let you down. Read it carefully. I sent it over. The terms were simple. $2,000, principal 0 interest. Pay it back whenever you can. No collection procedures. No collateral. It wasn't even really a loan. It was severance pay. My final payment to close the book on this relationship. He called me back. Liam, these terms, you're not charging interest? No timeline? Just pay it back when you can, or don't. Honestly, Tom, I don't care. This is me being done with you. Take the money, get your life together, and leave me alone. I'll pay you back, I promise. Every dollar. Sure. I gave him the money, direct transfer official, and documented. Months passed. Tom was struggling somewhere, but that wasn't my problem anymore. I heard through Uncle Mike that Tom was doing handyman work and barely scraping by. The divorce settlement took half his retirement. He was living in a one-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town, 62 years old and starting over with nothing. The same age most guys are planning their retirement. Tom was fixing leaky faucets and painting fences for $40 a pop. Ashley was supposedly working retail and living in some cheap apartment with 2 roommates. Whatever. Not my circus, not my monkeys. The golden child and the father who created her were both getting exactly what they deserved. Hazel and I got engaged 6 months after I gave Tom the loan. Small ceremony planned for the spring. Nothing fancy, just us and the people who actually mattered. Work kept getting better. Got promoted to lead technician, better pay, better hours, better everything. Turns out when you're not carrying around family drama, you have more energy for the things that actually matter. The promotion came with perks Tom never thought I'd see. Company sent me to advanced training in Denmark. Yeah, Denmark. To learn about the newest turbine models, all expenses paid. Got to tour the factories where they built these things. Met engineers who designed systems I'd been maintaining for years. Flew business class both ways. Tom used to say I'd be lucky to keep a basic job. I was representing my company internationally. We got married at a venue near Lake Hefner. My co-workers from the wind farm showed up. Hazel's nursing friends. Uncle Mike and some cousins who'd always been decent to me. Nobody from my immediate family got an invite. Tom sent a wedding card anyway. I threw it away without opening it. Ashley sent a gift with a note about how she was sorry and wanted to rebuild our relationship. Return to sender mom sent flowers with a card that said she was proud of me. I stared at those flowers for a long time before I threw them in the trash. Year 1 of marriage, Hazel and I bought a house in Edmond, 3 bedrooms. Decent yard, quiet neighborhood. The kind of place I used to dream about when I was sleeping in my truck. Year 2, we had our first kid, a boy. Named him after Hazel's grandfather, a guy who actually showed up for his family. Tom sent a congratulations card. Threw it away. Ashley tried calling to ask about being an aunt, blocked her number. Mom sent a baby gift, a handmade quilt with a note about wanting to meet her grandson someday. I almost threw it away. Hazel stopped me. Said it was beautiful and the baby should have it even if I wasn't ready to deal with mom yet. Fine, whatever. The kid got the quilt year 3. We had our second kid, a girl. Perfect and healthy and ours. Life was good. Better than good. I had a wife who actually loved me. Kids who'd never know what it felt like to be the disappointment. A career I'd built from nothing. A house, savings, stability. Everything Tom said I'd never have. And I did it all without him. Update. Need some advice here. So this is where it gets complicated. A few weeks ago, I got a text from mom's number. But it wasn't from mom. It was from Henry. The message said mom wanted to invite me, Hazel, and the kids to Colorado next month. They're renting a cabin in the mountains for 5 days. Hiking trails, a lake, the whole family vacation thing. Henry said there's no pressure and no expectations. Just time together. Said mom misses me and wants to be in her grandchildren's lives. I've been staring at this message for weeks. Here's the thing, mom was weak. She stood by and watched Tom treat me like garbage for 18 years. She didn't defend me. She didn't leave him until way later. She chose the easy path every single time, and I paid the price for it. But she wasn't cruel. She was trapped. 30 years with Tom probably broke something in her that I'll never fully understand, and now she's out. She's with Henry. She looks happy in the photos Aunt Rachel shows me. Tom's bridge? Burned? Ash. Gone forever. That man can live in his cheap apartment and think about every choice he made. He finally did the right thing and cut Ashley off, but it was 20 years too late. I don't care if he finally understands what he lost. Too late Ashley's bridge? Same deal. She showed exactly who she was at that rehearsal dinner. Chris saw it. His parents saw it. Everyone saw it. And now she's paying for it. Even Tom finally saw through her act and threw her out. She's on her own now, working retail and couch surfing, telling anyone who'll listen that I ruined her life. Not my problem. But mom, I don't know. Part of me thinks she doesn't deserve a second chance. She had 18 years to stand up for me and she never did. She let Tom kick me out and didn't say a word. But another part of me thinks about my kids. My daughter asked me last week why she doesn't have a grandma like her friends do. I didn't have a good answer for her. Hazel thinks I should go. She says mom's not Tom or Ashley. She says people can change. She says the kids deserve to know their grandmother if she's genuinely trying to make things right. But I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. So I'm asking you guys, what would you do? Do I give mom a chance? Do I let her meet my kids? Do I go to Colorado and see if she's really changed? Or do I keep that bridge burned like the others and protect my peace? I'm tired of carrying this around. But I'm also tired of people thinking they get second chances just because they finally feel bad about what they did. What do you think? Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.